We only have the test fuel costs.
I could probably break that down too. You know, have a test run cost and so on. Okay. We can do that. On that second sheet at the top, education, total of $1,800. A little bit of change on this one as well. What I did was the generator operations training, we put $200 in. We really would like to have a training class, if you will, on that. There's probably, first let me back up. The fire department is probably not going to be able to respond with that generator, whether it's to one of our churches here in county, or if it's a mutual aid out of county, or within county, say Rockingham County, or Randolph County, or whatever. Because disasters in Guilford County, whether it affects Summerfield or not, they're going to be called out. They need their manpower to go to those calls. So we need a training program, because probably, I know Mark Brown, myself, I don't know about George, if he knows really how to operate it and set it up to the church down here, proper procedures. You're only looking at a couple of people that really knows that. And if we're not available, or we've fallen off the face of the earth, or whatever the case may be, there's no need to even have the generator. I mean, it's not going to work. So this training class would be for really those individuals who say, hey, I really want to learn this. If there is a disaster, we need to take it to a church or wherever, and I'm available, I will take the truck, I will take it to wherever the case may be. And then they know how to operate it. That is, it's a safety issue for that person operating, it's a safety issue for those people around it. And not only that, even for that the church or whatever you get attached to. In other words, you got to a little bit know something about this. You just can't go out and say, hey, I'll take it up there, now that I'm here, I know what to do. And especially if you're going to go out of Summerfield with that generator, your incident management system, it is expected that whoever's going to come up there with anything, they don't care if you're going to bring a truckload of bread up there. You got to know a little bit something about incident command, incident management. You don't have to be an expert on it. You got to know something about it. You've got to know where to go, logistics, command, and resources. Now people up under there. You really need to know what to ask for. Hey, when I leave here, whether it's later today or tomorrow or whatever, we really like to have that generator full of fuel. Depending upon the situation, it might be called for again on the way back. It might be called for in Summerfield. So that's really what that $200 is. But I'm sure that it's a training class for that. And probably we're looking at getting in, probably somebody from Covington Diesel come out and do that. I guess switching from I put that as an education cost and not in the cost of the generator. Now I can switch it to whatever you want me to do. Shelter training. We've been talking, the committee's been talking a lot about this. I've talked to the Red Cross some. First of all, naturally they do shelter training. They're the gurus of that. You meaning somebody in Summerfield wants to volunteer and go to one of the classes, you can go downtown on Yanceyville for the class, or they'll come out here. There was a class back in the 90s, I want to say it's in the early to mid 90s, that they had at the fire department. Real good turnout. We don't know where a lot of those people are now. They're probably not here, they've lost interest or whatever. So our thinking is, hey, if we got 2 shelters in the town of Summerfield, and they are what I call Red Cross certified, so to speak. We got a generator to provide power to it. Then we really need some folks, if people in the town of Summerfield will, to go through that class, to be shelter worker certified, if you will. Now, you see $200 over. First, that class is free. There is no charge. The only reason why we put $300 in there is 2 reasons. One, if in our opinion, we have to have a class out here in Summerfield, if we get people. It would be, if you want to have some refreshments, because you're looking at some days on this. It's not a one-day issue. It's not a half a day or whatever. maybe some refreshments, drinks and cookies or something like that. That was a little bit of that money. The other is if the town of Summerfield, and I don't know how you work this, if you want to make a donation to the Red Cross. That's all that is. It is mainly refreshments and any type of donation. If you don't want to make a donation, we can take some money out of that. Red Cross did not ask for that. It's just that we put that in there to, just to be sure type thing. The second issue goes with the shelter training, first aid CPR training. That's actually adult, infant, child CPR, and AED training and first aid. It's $65, I don't know if I put that on the sheet or not, but it's $65 per person. So our thinking is, if we get some shelter workers trained, and if they want to be, you can't force somebody to go through medical training if they don't want to, but if they're going to respond to the shelter in time of need, to have some type of medical training. Because again, you got to look at if the issue is out here in Summerfield, fire department's going to be here and there. I have actually been on calls in years past on ice storms. I've been up on 150 between 150 and 220. Excuse me, on 158 between 220 and Lake Brant Road, cutting trees out of the way, and we had a call at a residence down here on Summerfield Road near the church, and it took us over 30 minutes to get down here because the conditions were so bad. So our thinking is if we can get shelter workers, at least some of them, become trained in first aid and CPR and the AED that we have, that would be a big help. So we looked at how many people. We have no idea how many people. So I came up with the number 20 people. The reason for that is in a time of need like that where you're training volunteers, out of 20 people, you're probably going to get 3 to 5 people that's going to respond. And the reasons why they won't respond, number one, they can't. Maybe they're inside their home, they can't get out, trees across the road, they can't get to the church. Maybe the roads are just too bad, they can't get out, and they couldn't get out to get there in advance of the storm. Maybe it's a tornado that hit and they still can't get through, power lines, trees across the road. So fortunately, we might be able to muster out 3 to 5 people out of that 20. There was some discussion to the town pay for somebody to train some of these volunteers. And some of us are thinking, yeah, it would really feel like it'd be a good investment in the town to go ahead and get some people up to 20 and get them trained. We can actually keep a log of those people and probably help them throughout the year on certain issues. Now, as far as any recertification, that probably should be on their own, not the town of Summerfield. This is an initial certification. So we went ahead and put that in. So if you take 20 people, multiply times $65 for that whole entire 3-class, if you will, CPR, AED, and standard first aid, you're looking at $1,300. That's what we're getting. And that's a new item, and the shelter is new that we put in here for education this year.
Would that, if you train someone, if you train someone, they're gonna always know it after that.
Yeah.
Years down the road.
True, and you're exactly right.
So you wouldn't have to spend the money again to train them to do something that, memorize things.
Yeah, you take some of these certifications like for 3 years. So every 3 years you got to get certified. It's just like an EMT. I'm an EMT. You have to put in so many hours per year. Mm-hmm. If not, you lose your state certification. So you're exactly right. It is a good thing to do. And those that are trained, maybe they'll keep it up for a while. Then they might say, I really want to do that, but hey, I'll remain a shelter worker or whatever. And I think fair, if you vote on this, yes, then, and it's approved, we would have to do our part. At least that's what our thinking is. We would help keep a log of those people that are trained from the town of Summerfield, within the corporate limits of Summerfield, addresses or whatever, and telephone numbers. And because right now the Red Cross, they've got a list, but they have no records of those people that were trained in Summerfield back in the early to mid-90s. Because I've asked them twice, and they don't have it. They don't really do it that way. Okay, the next one, fire inspections, investigations.